Digital Sun's success with Moonlighter didn't go unnoticed. In fact, it caught the eye of Riot Games, who at the time were looking to expand the League of Legends universe in new and creative ways. Riot was actively seeking out talented indie studios through their Riot Forge initiative, hoping to explore the world of Runeterra through fresh perspectives. This opened the door for Digital Sun to pitch their own take on a game set within the expansive League universe. It wasn't long before they got the green light to develop a game that could both honor the League of Legends world and showcase their unique art style and gameplay. Their pitch would soon evolve into what we now know as Mageseeker. This collaboration marked a pivotal moment for Digital Sun, as this project would be set in an already established universe. Fortunately, most of the Digital Sun team was already well acquainted with the world of Runeterra, which allowed Mageseeker to become their next big project. One that would showcase their ability to balance innovation with the expectations of working within an existing universe. With the team excited about their collaboration with Riot, they began brainstorming ideas for what kind of game they could create. The studio wanted to present several fully fleshed out ideas to Riot, ensuring they had a range of options to offer. One of those pitches involved a character who could copy abilities from other champions. It seemed like a perfect fit for a game about Sylas, right? A champion known for sensing and copying the magic abilities of those around him. Obviously, that's how things turned out. But there's one important thing to note about when this pitch was made, in early January 2019. Nobody outside of Riot knew he existed yet. Sylas was still in development, and 3 weeks away from his PBE announcement at the time of the pitch. When the Riot representatives, including Riot Forge creative director Rowan Parker, heard this pitch, they were shocked by how perfectly it matched a character the public wasn't even aware of yet. A few weeks after the initial pitch, Sylas was officially revealed, and Rowan sent the Digital Sun team all the information they would need. From there, everything began falling into place. It was incredible how similar the new character lined up with Digital Sun's concept. There is even a running joke between Riot and Digital Sun that Sylas was created in the 3 weeks between their call and the character's announcement. A hilarious notion given that champions can take as long as 8 months to develop. All jokes aside, the way Digital Sun's pitch lined up with what Sylas was shaping up to be really did seem like fate, and it's hard to argue with that. With both Riot and Digital Sun in agreement, the Mageseeker entered development at Digital Sun in late February 2019 under the codename Starblitz. While Sylas' abilities fit perfectly in line with what Digital Sun intended to create for their game, his lore and the circumstances around his story are, let's say, not typical of an action RPG protagonist. Sylas is not a hero. He's a complicated, conflicted character. A man who doesn't always take the high road and often manipulates people to achieve his own ends. Not exactly the kind of person most players would want to follow throughout the length of a game. Of course, Sylas has his reasons for being the way he is, and over time, his character has evolved through various stories. However, the version of Sylas that Digital Sun had to work with was his earliest incarnation, a dangerous revolutionary. Working with a beloved IP like League of Legends, and a passionate fanbase, creating a unique narrative, making players care for your characters, while staying faithful to the established lore is no easy feat. Fortunately, Digital Sun wasn't on their own in crafting the story. With the guidance of Rowan Parker and the Riot Forge team, they ensured everything stayed true to the lore and cleared up any uncertainties along the way. At first, Digital Sun worried they were centering their game on a villain, but upon reflection, they recognized that Sylas fit the mold of an anti-hero, similar to Deadpool or Wolverine, which allowed them to shape a deeper, more intricate story with Rowan's support. To further anchor the game within the League of Legends universe, iconic champions like Garen, Lux, Jarvan, and Morgana make appearances. To create a more cohesive narrative, Riot Forge brought in its team of writers to craft in-game notes that players could find, tying the story together even more cohesively. With the story, champions, and world firmly established, the next challenge for the Mageseeker team was to define the right gameplay mechanics. This presented a significant challenge since the Mageseeker would be a vastly different game compared to Moonlighter. According to Javier Jimenez, He and the team believed Moonlighter became repetitive after a certain point, a common issue in roguelike games, where success depends largely on the strength of the core gameplay loop. But since Mageseeker was going to be a story-driven action RPG, Javier emphasized the importance of ensuring that the game didn't feel repetitive, with new content steadily being unlocked and discovered as the narrative unfolded. Drawing inspiration from pixel art titles like Hyper Light Drifter and Children of Morta, as well as larger games like God of War, it's clear that Digital Sun achieved that goal. Sylas, quite literally, carries the God of War influence on his wrists. He wields the chains of his imprisonment as weapons, the same chains that serve as a reminder of the 15 years he spent locked away in a Mageseeker compound. While dark and symbolic, these chains also translated into compelling gameplay mechanics, allowing players to pull themselves toward enemies for close quarters combat. The combat in Mageseeker starts off simple, but in the later stages, when players face larger enemy groups and their countless projectiles, it becomes clear that mobility is key. Dashing around the battlefield or pulling Sylas toward enemies is essential to avoid losing large chunks of health. There's a wide variety of enemies, from elemental mages employed by the Mageseekers, who can cast ice shards, heal other enemies, or create damaging wind cyclones, to creature-based enemies like the lava gromps, which can create fields of fire. The game does an excellent job of mixing up enemy arrangements in each level, forcing players to carefully consider which enemies to prioritize. The bosses, though, are one of the Mageseeker's biggest highlights. While some fights allow for flexibility in spell loadouts thanks to Sylas's excellent mobility, other encounters encourage players to swap spells for an elemental advantage or to boost survivability. In addition to the main missions, Mageseeker offers two chains of side quests. One involves assaulting Mageseeker bases using enhanced versions of Sylas's spells, giving these missions a roguelike feel that provided some of the most fun in the campaign. The other chain features basic arena battles that culminate in exciting bosses, a treat for League of Legends fans. After each mission, players return to the base camp where they can craft spells, upgrade stats, interact with NPCs to delve deeper into the lore, and send mages on side quests to earn additional rewards. After 4 years of development, the Mageseeker launched on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC on April 18, 2023. Like Moonlighter, the Mageseeker was praised for its presentation, fun and thoughtful gameplay, and story, but it wasn't without its issues. Many reviews cited a slow start, a lack of voice acting, and several bugs as detractors of an otherwise solid experience. Despite their best efforts, some reviewers also found the game to be slightly repetitive. Still, the Mageseeker fared pretty well, currently resting at metascores in the high 70s to low 80s, with the exception of PS5, which is sitting at 74. Sales numbers for the Mageseeker across its many platforms have not yet been released as of the time this video was scripted. However, according to VG Insights, it has sold over 68,000 copies and earned more than $1.6 million in gross revenue on Steam. It will be interesting to see the stats for the Nintendo Switch version of the game, since that seems to be the ideal platform for it. By most accounts, this collaboration was successful. Digital Sun built on its success with Moonlighter by creating a game that simultaneously appealed to its fans while also accomplishing Riot Forge's goal of bringing new players into the world of League of Legends and expanding the game's lore. If you enjoyed exploring the Mageseeker and how Digital Sun brought the world of League of Legends to life with their unique blend of fast-paced combat and immersive storytelling, you'll definitely want to check out their earlier hit, Moonlighter. If you're curious to see how they balanced action-packed dungeon crawling with shopkeeping, check out this video.